But this is the course that I created. Again, it's been about 10 years now.
We're on slide 1 for you guys that aren't
And it,
listening.
and it's session 1. And here's the train. Here's the 8 week the training. The overview of the 8 week training. These are the things that I talk about.
Okay.
So first session, which will be sorry, question.
Oh, I was just going to say we're looking at slide 2 here.
Slide
It's got
2.
a little timeline.
You got it. So slide 2. This is the first 4 weeks, right? We talk about lead conversion, and I'm going to go over that today. It's going to kind of give you a 30,000 foot overview of the pipeline, the funnel, what it looks like. Share some stats with you. Just kind of give your team an overview of what the industry norms are, standards right now, or what's going on.
Right.
Week 2, and every one of these sessions, Cameron, I send them home with homework. Right? There's a lot of role playing, and it's a ton of fun. This is not
I
a
was going to say they're
high
back in school.
pressure. It's not. Yeah, it's not a high pressure sort of scenario. But I give them homework because you just want buy-in from your team, and you want to make sure that they're learning. Right? By writing things down. What's the old adage? If you go to a conference and you write, if you don't write anything down, you only retain about 10% of what you learned. But if you write things down, you'll retain over 50% of it.
Wow.
Something like that. So
I'm not shocked at that at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you don't look at the notes again ever,
right.
just writing it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You retain 50%.
You hear
more.
that, guys? Be writing everything down.
Be writing everything down.
Taking in this info.
So week 2, we dive into the intake process, and I'll get into some of the particulars of that. Week 3, we break down calls into bits and pieces, edible pieces, so everyone can have an understanding of what my thought process is, and what a call should look like piece by piece. And then day 4, or session 4, which is one of my favorites to teach, I talk about the intake role itself and how it fits in to the entire law firm puzzle, right? And that class stems from an interview I did with an intake rep. I was on site at a huge personal injury firm in the Southeast. They had 32 intake people, and we're getting like 15,000 phone calls a month. And I was interviewing one of the intake reps, and she said to me, Adam, I don't even know if my job is important. And I felt bad, and I didn't know if it was her fault for being in the wrong position. Maybe this wasn't her cup of tea, or was it the law firm's fault for not making her feel special or part of the team, or was it her manager's part for not being a better coach and trainer and those sorts of things? And so I created a whole session wrapped around playing with the full passion bucket and how critical the intake people are to the entire process. And it's sort of a look in the mirror about, is this the right fit for me? Because you want the best people, right? You want A players. You don't want C players dealing with potential new clients, right? You don't want your director of first impressions to not be a passionate member of your team. And so that's what that session talks about. And it's a lot of fun, right? And then moving on, we talk about closing the deal, how to ask for the money, how to set the appointment, how to get the DocuSign back, how to get someone to show up, commit, promise to show up for a Zoom call, right?
Right.
So that's session 5. It's like how to close.
We're on slide 3.
Session 6, we talk about the chase. I share in that week 6 session the best practices in how to convert more leads. What are the best practices in follow-up? What does the chase look like? Law firms always give up too soon. A lead comes in, and I'll ask a law firm owner, or they'll call me and they go, Adam, these leads are garbage. And I say, well, what's your follow-up process? Well, I call and I get voicemail, and I don't ever call them again. So I'm going to teach you in class 6, session 6, I talk about what the best practices are. How many times should you be calling, emailing, and texting a potential new client, lead that gets away, before giving up? Right. And I teach session 6, one of my all-time favorites. You pursue leads until they die, buy, or unsubscribe. And that's what I teach in session 6, is what should those patterns be to convert more contacts into contracts.
I love that. It's also difficult, I think, to find where your ROI tips, where your scaled tips on that.
Yep.
How many times you're following back on these leads.
Yep. And law firm owners, historically through time have said, well, it's really unsavory for me to call these people 6 times. Okay? And my response to that is always the same. If you believe in your heart of hearts that you're the best lawyer to help someone who's got a real problem get that problem solved, then you'll pursue them until they die, buy, or unsubscribe. It's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you. It's about them and what you can do to help them. So if you don't believe you're the best option for them, fine, give up. But if you're in your heart and your team believes that as well, you'll pursue them following this simple recipe that I know will help you convert. 93% of all leads are going to convert within the first 6 touches. I'm going to teach you what those patterns are in session 6.
Wow. Interesting.
Okay? Yep.
I can't wait.
Session 7, we're going to review 1 through 6. I gave sort of an overview of everything that we've learned because, again, as we talked about earlier, if you're not taking notes, it's really hard for you to recall things. Mm-hmm. And then session 8, we do a big grand finale where I will actually bring in some celebrity guest folks like yourself, Cameron, and we'll actually do a role play from start to finish of every one of your team members. And it's all done in good fun, but it also gives us a roadmap for what other future additional coaching or training your firm might need. So I never give up on my coaching clients, right? The clients that the firms that go through this 8-week session, there's a lot of post follow-up that I commit to, that I show up for, that I ask law firm owners to come in, and it's a regular, constant, ongoing plan to help you get your firm to the next level. You can't coach somebody once, right? Tom Brady, perhaps the greatest quarterback of all time. I don't know, 20 some odd seasons that he played. How many do you think that Bill Belichick just coached him once and made him the greatest of all time? Or do you think there was regular and ongoing exposure to coaching, direction, guidance that he was given through his entire career to take him to 6 or 7 Super Bowl wins?
Mm-hmm.
You never stop learning.
No, absolutely. And
right?
when I'm sitting here talking to you too, for you, it's second nature.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think, oh, well, you're special. You are special, Adam. We appreciate you.
I appreciate that.
But I think that capability is there for anybody, any firm
100%.
owner, any lawyer. It's just repetition, right?
100%. How motivated are you? And again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's what the law firm owner believes is going on, right? We want you to get to step 3, and that is what's really going on in my law firm. And you do that by constantly being in contact with your people. And I'm not saying be a micromanager, right? Just keep your ear to the ground and understand what's going on in your team,
mm-hmm.
and you'll succeed 9 times out of 10. Right?
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Whatever that team looks like, if you've got virtual assistants that you've brought in from LegalSoft, which of course we do this after, we talk about scaling and growing. Those are ways to do it. You keep your ear to the ground. Or whether you have in-house staff.
Yeah.
You need to be there as a mentor and coach. Now, a lot of lawyers are really bad coaches. Mm-hmm. And that's where guys like me have come in. And that's not a knock on them, right?
Right.
Lawyers are technicians, right? They live in this world where everything is, right? It's in the books, right? So they're just not great. They're type A personalities. They want to control everything. And they expect everyone to be as good as they are. I've been there before myself. When I first became a manager of people, I was a horrible manager. Simply because I expected everyone to have the same passion and energy and skill set that I had. And at the end of the day, the best coaches, which it took me years to become, they identify what kind of personalities they have on their team, and they do the best to bring that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
No, absolutely. I'm saying absolutely a lot, but I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. Really, mm-hmm. We just had a podcast episode a couple weeks ago where we talked about fostering a positive ecosystem within your law firm, mm-hmm. right? And it encompasses that too. I mean, that's a huge part of it, making sure that your virtual staff and your in-person staff feel as though they're part of. I hate to say it, everyone uses this, it's so overused, but the family of your business.
It's true.
100%. But it's so true. And in a lot of cases, you spend more time at work than you do at home.
100%.
You know, so I think that really echoes what you're saying. You know.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So those are the 8 weeks broken down.